All right, buckle up for another deep dive. This time, we're getting the inside scoop on Michelle Obama's uh, stunning post-White House mansion in D.C.'s Kalorama neighborhood.
$8.1 million worth of real estate.
It is, yeah. And we've got an article packed with photos that take us room by room, kind of like House Beautiful meets, political power couple. You know what I mean?
Right, and it's a total gold mine, for anyone who's like even a little bit obsessed with like celebrity homes and lifestyles.
Yes, totally. But it's also, I think, a really unique opportunity to kind of decode, like, what their design choices say about their values, right, and their lifestyle after leaving the White House.
Yeah.
So are you ready to put on our detective hats and really analyze some seriously chic decor?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, let's start with location, 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 right? Kalorama. What's the deal with Kalorama?
So, Kalorama, it's not just an address, it's a statement.
He's giving statement, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of statement?
Well, think about this. You've got history, you've got exclusivity, like big time exclusivity, and you've got a roster of residents that reads like a who's who of like power players.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that.
So you've got Jeff Bezos, you've got Ivanka Trump. It's the kind of place where privacy and security are like non-negotiable, but you're also like right in the heart of DC. So you're connected, you're close to everything.
Right, so even before we, like, see the house, the location itself is already saying something like, we're stepping back from the spotlight, maybe a little bit, but definitely not out of the game entirely.
100%, yeah. And then you factor in the house itself. I mean, a Tudor revival mansion.
Oh, yeah. Very Tudor revival. And that's a choice, for sure.
Totally. And it's definitely sending a message.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break it down for me. What kind of message are we talking when we say Tudor revival in this context?
Well, think about it. They're coming from the White House, right? All that history, all those eyes on them all the time. So the Tudor revival, it's kind of perfect. You've got the brick facade, the steep gables. It's like almost fortress-like. So, and all of that evokes, a sense of history, solidity, a kind of sanctuary even.
Yeah, I see that. Like they're saying, okay, we've handled the public eye. Now it's time to create a space. It's really for us, for our family, like a haven.
Exactly. And then you can't miss that turreted entryway, It's like a subtle nod to those fairy tale castles. But it's done in a way that's very, very sophisticated and understated, which is very Obama, if you ask me.
Right. Okay, I love it. So picture this. You pull up to this grand house, you're feeling the weight of all that history and the promise of privacy, and like you step inside.
Yeah.
What's the first impression?
It's striking. It really is, because you get this contrast. So the entryway, yeah, it's grand. You've got those black and white checkered marble floor.
Oh, I love a checkered floor.
But then there's this warmth too, It's not cold, it's not intimidating, like that dark wood console
Yeah.
with the gleaming silver accents. It just kind of sets the tone for the whole house. It's like, okay, you can come in, you can relax, but like don't forget, this is a seriously sophisticated space.
It's giving elegant but approachable. It's giving stylish but not at all intimidating.
Yes, exactly. And that balance is key.
Yeah.
You're going to see that throughout the whole house. It's intentional.
Ooh, I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Speaking of which, the living room. Tell me about the living room. Spill the details.
Okay. One word: tranquility. Like seriously, you've got this soft gray color palette, a plush sofa, like you could sink into it and never come out.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Velvet armchair.
I love velvet.
It's like everything's designed to like make you just exhale and relax. But knowing the Obamas, there's got to be more to it than just like cozy luxury, right? So the fireplace, it's a total focal point. It's got these intricate moldings that like draw your eye. There are these crystal accented sconces that just add this warmth, and even the landscape painting over the mantle, it adds to that feeling of peace.
You know what's interesting to me about that? It's not that over-the-top grandeur you often see in a lot of celebrity homes. It's elegant, it's sophisticated, but it's understated. And it feels very deliberate.
You're so right. It's not about showing off their wealth. It's about creating a space for like genuine relaxation and connection.
Speaking of connection, let's talk about the kitchen. Is it like a chef's dream? Or is it more of a family gathering spot?
Honestly, it's a beautiful blend of both.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, so you've got those white cabinets, marble countertops, that big island that's perfect for, prepping food, but also just like hanging out and chatting. So it's high end for
I
sure.
like that.
But it's also designed for real life, for family and friends to actually gather.
So it's not just about like showcasing, the wealth. It's about creating this functional space for family life.
Exactly. And that same intentionality, you're going to see it in the bedrooms, in the study.
Okay, well tell me about the master bedroom. Is it a serene oasis or is it a little bolder?
Yeah.
What's the vibe?
Oh, it's total Serene Oasis vibes. Picture this. Soft cream color palette. You've got a custom upholstered bed. And I'm talking the kind that just like begs you to like curl up and relax. And then leaded glass windows, just adding a touch of classic charm.
Ooh, leaded glass. Nice.
It's peaceful, like a true retreat from the world.
Which makes sense
Yeah.
given their, past life.
Yeah.
All right, what about the study?
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The study doubles as a fitness room. So it's this cool mix of intellectual pursuits and like taking care of your body.
Oh, I love that. Like mind and body all in one space.
Exactly. And so you've got these dark gray walls, built-in shelving packed with books, personal items, and then bam, an elliptical machine right there in the corner.
It's like they're saying we're still those, bookish intellectuals, but also we're going to stay fit.
Right. It's all connected. It's like this commitment to a balanced life, even after the White House. It's really inspiring.
It is, yeah. Okay, before we move on, we've got to talk basement. Every great house has a great basement.
Right. And this one does not disappoint. It's amazing. Like, you can just tell it's designed for fun and family time. Bright, open. You got those comfy sofas again, a whole play area.
Yeah.
And the shelves are just overflowing with books and games. It's great.
Perfect for family movie night.
Oh, absolutely. Or game day, whatever. It's just like a place to be yourself.
I love it. Okay, and then there's the backyard. Tell me about the backyard.
Okay, so imagine this. Manicured lawn.
Right.
Beautiful, stretching out,
Yeah.
surrounded by these mature trees. So you've got all this privacy, and then you've got this slate catio, and it's got like elegant seating, perfect for, just relaxing, having a conversation, entertaining. It's an oasis.
A little slice of paradise right in the heart of D.C.
Exactly. And it's like another example of how the whole house is designed for both these like private moments, but also like connecting with the people you love.
I'm loving this. Okay, so we've got this incredible house, this very exclusive location, and every detail seems to be telling us a story
Yeah.
about their values, their lifestyle. What do you think like the big takeaway is here?
Well, I think what really stands out is that balance they've created. Like, there's this clear desire for privacy, which makes sense, right? After all those years in the public eye.
Absolutely.
But it's not just about, like, shutting the world out,
Yeah, but-
They're also saying, we're still here. Like, the design choices, the family-focused spaces, the way they've blended elegance with being approachable. It's like they value connection both with each other and with, the world around them.
It's like they created a space that reflects their past but also embraces this new chapter.
Right, exactly. It's like they're saying, okay, we're stepping back, but we're not stepping away.
Okay, love that. Now, before we get too philosophical here, I have one more question about Kalorama. And we mentioned some of their high-profile neighbors, but how exclusive is exclusive? Like, what kind of price tag are we talking here?
Okay, so Kalorama is like peak DC real estate. And the Obama's house, 8.1 million. That's actually on the lower end for the area.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess when you're neighbors with Jeff Bezos and, Ivanka Trump, that's kind of what you should expect.
Right. And it's not just the price either. It's the history, the architecture, the sense of community. It's a whole package.
We've covered a lot of ground here, but there's so much more to explore. What do you say we take a quick break, and then we'll come back and really dig into the specifics of the design choices and what they reveal about, the Obamas.
It's kind of fun to actually compare the Obama's house to like other big name properties in Kalorama.
Oh, yeah. Like little real estate voyeurism. I'm here for it.
Totally. So we actually have this table here that lists like some of their neighbors, the style of their homes, even some of the like unique features. It really gives you a sense of like how grand this whole neighborhood is and also how diverse, architecturally speaking, I mean.
Oh, I love a good comparison. Lay it on me.
Okay, so you've got Jeff Bezos with his massive Georgian mansion, right? Multiple terraces, a garden courtyard. I mean, very fitting for, a tech giant.
It is. It's very tech giant. What about Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. What do they go with?
So they went a little more classic, colonial revival. But the interesting thing is their house is known for like the crazy security features and all these like huge privacy hedges.
Well, I guess when you're that high profile, keeping the paparazzi out is like top priority. Makes sense. But okay, let's circle back to the Obama's house. We talked about, location, the whole Tudor revival thing, the vibe, but let's get into some specifics. What design details really jump out at you?
One thing I noticed right away was the colors. Like they use a lot of soft, muted colors throughout the house, grays, creams, whites. It just creates this really calming, serene atmosphere.
Yeah, it's interesting you see that because I vaguely remember reading somewhere that Michelle Obama is super into mindfulness and, you know, self-care and things like that. So maybe the color palette is kind of a reflection of that, like intentionally creating this space that promotes like peace and quiet.
That's a really good point. It totally ties into like the whole feeling of the house. It's not about being flashy or extravagant. It's about creating a space where they can actually relax and recharge.
Like we've spent years in the spotlight, now it's time to like focus on ourselves, on our family.
Exactly. And you see that reflected in other choices too. Like remember the living room with that super plush sofa and the velvet armchairs. It's all about comfort. Just unwinding and connecting with the people you love.
Ugh, yeah. Sounds so inviting. And it's cool how they balance that cozy stuff with like more elegant touches, like the crystal accented sconces you mentioned, and those shelves like carefully curated with photos and mementos and things. It's sophisticated, but it doesn't feel stuffy.
It's that perfect mix of like high-end design and those personal touches. That's what makes it special. It's luxurious, but it feels lived in. You know what I mean?
Totally. Okay, let's talk about the kitchen.
Yeah.
Clearly a beautiful space, but what does it tell us about their, lifestyle?
Well, it designed for both like function and style, right? So you've
Right.
got that big island, which is great for, like we said, family gatherings. But then the appliances, they're top of the line. So it hints at like a real love of cooking, of entertaining.
Oh, I can totally picture them hosting like these intimate dinner parties with close friends in that kitchen. It just seems like, the kind of space that encourages conversation and connection.
100%. And don't forget about the basement. Remember that family room. Bright colors, comfy seating, the play area. It's all about fun and just being relaxed. Even in a house this grand, they haven't forgotten like the importance of family and making sure everyone feels at home.
That's so nice. It's really refreshing to see like they haven't lost sight of those like simple joys, even with all the grandeur and everything.
Right. And it's not just the inside. Remember the backyard, the manicured lawn, all those trees for privacy,
Yeah.
and that patio. It's all part of the same philosophy. They created this sanctuary where they can relax, reconnect with, nature.
Like they brought the like peacefulness of the countryside right into DC.
Exactly. Which is pretty impressive, considering how high profile they are and how much attention they get. But there's one element we haven't talked about yet, and it plays a huge role in creating that sense of peace and being secluded.
Ooh, okay. Intrigue me. What are we missing?
Security.
Oh, right.
We're talking about a former first family living in a super high-profile neighborhood, so security has got to be a top priority.
Yeah, good point. The article doesn't get into like specifics about the security measures, but I bet we can like read between the lines a little.
Yeah.
You know, based on what we know about the location, the style of the house, and the Obama's need for like privacy and protection.
Totally. Like, we can play detective here. What are the clues that point to a high level of security?
Let's do it. So first off, Kalorama itself.
Right.
It's known for being super exclusive, very private. A lot of the homes have like their own security systems and like gated entrances. It's not the kind of place where, just anyone can wander in.
Right. So the location itself is already like a starting point. What about the house itself, like the design?
Okay, let's see. Well, that Tudor revival style, right, with those thick brick walls, the solid construction, it's just inherently more secure than like, I don't know, modern glass and steel house.
Exactly. It's like a fortress almost.
But I'm sure there's a lot we don't see too, like high-tech stuff.
Oh, for sure. I guarantee you they've got like state-of-the-art surveillance systems, motion detectors, reinforced doors and windows. All that's standard for homes like this, especially for someone like Michelle Obama, who's still, in the public eye to a certain extent.
And I bet the landscaping plays a role too. Those big trees, they're not just pretty, they're also like a natural barrier, screening the property from, prying eyes.
100%. And the patio, remember, probably positioned for maximum privacy too, like so you can't see in from the street.
It's kind of amazing how they've created this this space that feels so peaceful and welcoming, but also super secure. It really shows they're committed to, both privacy and safety. They've managed to have it all, which is pretty impressive.
It makes you wonder, like, what other choices they made with security in mind.
Oh, totally. Like the placement of the windows, the layout of the rooms. It's like there's a whole other layer to this house that we're only just beginning to see. So maybe that's a conversation for another time. I think we need a moment to process all this. Okay, so we've really gotten a good look at Michelle Obama's Kalorama mansion, the Tudor revival architecture, the backyard oasis. It's like every little detail tells a story.
It does. It really makes you think about how powerful design can be. It's not just like a house. It's a reflection of their lives, their values,
Hmm.
their hopes for this next chapter.
Right, exactly. And it's not even just about the Obamas, right? I mean, it kind of makes you want to look at your own space and be like, okay, what story is my house telling?
That's such a good question. And I think for a lot of us, like the reason we're so fascinated by celebrity homes, it's partly because it's like this escape,
I
right?
totally
Yeah.
like a peek into these like luxurious worlds.
Yes, but it's also more than that. I think we're also trying to understand, like, how do these people we admire, these people who have like achieved so much, how do they actually live their lives? Like behind closed doors when the cameras are off.
You're right. It's like we're looking for like clues or something.
Exactly. And what we see in the Obama's house is this strong commitment to family, that need for privacy, obviously, after like years in the spotlight, and this real desire to create a space that's like both elegant and comfortable.
And it's not even just about, the stuff, the actual things, the possessions.
Hmm.
It's the feeling they've created, like that sense of peace, of like sanctuary,
Yeah.
that feeling of being truly at home.
You nailed it. And that's something we can all like try to achieve, no matter, the size of our house or how much money we spent on it. It's about creating a space that reflects, who we are and what matters to us.
So for those of us who, maybe don't have an $8.1 million mansion budget, what are some things we can take away from this? Like, how do we apply those Obama level design principles in our own like normal lives?
I think the first step is to really think about like what's important to you. Like what kind of feeling do you want your home to have? What are like the main things you want to do in your space? Do you want it to be like a big social hub or more of a quiet retreat?
Great questions. And
Okay.
and once you know like what you want, how do you actually turn those ideas into like actual design choices?
Well, think about the things we talked about today, like color. Color has a huge impact. Soft, muted tones like the Obama's choices, those can really create a sense of calm. Natural materials like wood and stone, they can make a space feel more warm and grounding.
And don't forget about like personal touches, like photos, artwork, stuff you've collected on your travels. That's what really makes it your own.
Absolutely. It's like you're telling your own story, right?
Yeah.
Through the things you put in your space. And don't be afraid to like mix things up. You don't need to spend a ton of money to create a space that's stylish and welcoming.
Such a good point. Yeah, it's
Oh.
not about like copying someone else's style. It's about like finding what you love and what feels authentic to you. And
Mhm.
even with all the like luxury and grandeur of the Obama's house, what I really took away from it was that sense of authenticity.
I totally agree. It felt like curated, but also genuinely lived in,
Yeah.
like a place they actually love spending time in. They've really figured out how to have it all. The privacy, the security, the comfort, the
Yeah,
connection.
it's what we all want, right?
Yeah.
A place where you can just be yourself and feel at peace.
So well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah, me too. So wrapping up our deep dive into Michelle Obama's Kalorama Mansion, remember, your home, it's a reflection of via you, so make it a space you absolutely love, a space that tells your story, and hey, who knows, maybe someday we'll be doing a deep dive into your fabulous home. Until then, happy decorating.